Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at all those shiny buttons. Look at all those chickens.
Look at all those chickens.
We haven't used that joke in forever. Oh, Craig's got all those chickens in there.
that's right.
Each chicken produces a different effect on the television screen. Like when he presses the chicken that says take black, we lose the signal.
I was wondering how long he was going to take it, and we're still in it.
I thought he was going to do it.
You
Anyway,
lost Kristen.
Look who it is. That's Emma Jade.
Hi, everyone! Yay!
She's here in the
Welcome
flesh.
back.
Thanks, guys.
Oh my gosh. Tell everybody about the last 3 months of your life because I feel like you have not been here very much.
So I've been busy. I had a baby.
Oh.
I literally.
That'll keep you busy.
You guys, I didn't think that it was going to work out this way, but I came to work on a Thursday morning, and that night was in the hospital having a baby.
Yeah, you were saying at the time, I will give you credit for this, you called it. You're
Did
like,
I?
yeah, you kind of did. You're like, I feel like it's about to happen. And you
Yeah.
were saying, if I'm back on Monday, then.
Yes.
You were using the old if-and statements.
Yeah.
And turned out you weren't here on
I
Monday.
even
she's
texted.
experienced.
This is her
Yeah.
first time. She
That's
knows.
right. I even texted our executive producer, and because I was kind of getting bugged about work with maternity leave and trying to figure that all out because
Yeah.
the time just goes by so quickly. And I texted our executive producer. I was like, I'll probably be back Monday. And then 4 hours later, I sent him a picture of my new baby.
We got it in the morning right before the show. It was like, oh, no, Emma's not coming in.
Yeah.
Hope
And
you have a
have
fill-in.
easy labors too.
Oh, if I could just get. Now, I know there are people who do this, but if I could just get paid to have babies, I would.
Well, Emma, you will be my surrogate.
Yeah,
The world's oldest
absolutely.
profession, I think they call it. That's-
But I did make an announcement this morning that I will be scaling back quite a bit. I've decided to be at home more than I already am because 12 News has already helped me out so much with that. But now even more so because I want to be at home and awake.
yeah, that makes sense.
Is kind of the
And
what I'm
fully
going for.
functioning so that you can properly care for your children.
Yeah. So it was a really hard decision, but after a lot of prayer and talks with my husband, this is just what the best thing is for us right now.
But you're not leaving us.
I'm not leaving. So I will still be coming in every now and again, popping in on the show. And
You got her all
just
week
with this
this week,
team.
by the way, so
Yes.
enjoy it Monday through Friday.
I'm here all
Yeah.
week this week, and I will always let all of you know on social media when I will be here and things like that. So
It'll be like, you know how like Vanessa's favorite taco truck will show up in like a location and then they post on social media like, yo, the taco truck is here.
that's
It's
exactly
like
it.
you, but you're a human taco truck.
Yes.
Emma is
Everybody
gonna
loves
be
tacos.
here.
Everybody loves Emma.
Right.
Emma.
gosh, I'm in.
So follow her on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter to know when the taco truck is coming to a town near you.
Absolutely.
Probably didn't expect to come back to work and get compared to a taco truck today.
Oh,
So
she
that's
remembers
fun.
me.
Yeah,
No.
you know what? It
We worked
actually-
together for 2 years before she left.
It's better than other things I've been compared to. So I will take the taco truck.
I
take the
too am a
taco
taco
truck.
truck. Don't get me wrong.
I smell as good as a taco truck.
I put out on social media that I had an announcement on Today in AZ, and everyone was like, "Oh, you're pregnant again!"
No way.
I was like, "Give me another week."
The
and then
cynics
yeah.
out there.
I was going to say, how long till you are, though?
I was gonna say, don't play Emma. You'd be totally okay with that right now.
Sister, you know I would be. I totally would be. I hope it's twins.
All right, before we get into our talking topic, let's do an ICYMI. In case you missed Today in AZ and Emma's triumphant return this morning, we had some
Triumphant.
special moments. The show is just so much more fun when we're joking and laughing and doing whatever is featured here.
Whatever.
I don't know what it is.
I'm not sure I ever left. If I'm
Whoa.
completely honest, isn't that so? 3 months went by that quickly.
Welcome back, Emma Jade, everybody, to Today in AZ. Those of you that woke up at 4:30 in the morning are now feeling pretty good about it, aren't you? This got us thinking, though. Have you ever seen a ghost? Text us your ghost story, 602-444-1212. I've seen a specter this morning, and her name is Emma Jade, haunting these halls once again.
Seriously. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be back and also not pregnant.
Woo! Samesies.
And with a ghost town amusement park now up for sale, we want to know if any stranger things have happened to you. Which, by the way, did you watch that this week?
No, you know I'm late to this stuff. I'll get in a couple of years.
Text us your ghost story, 602-444-1212. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Emma Jade.
That's no ghost. The little nod she did there was like, no, it's me in the flesh. Here I am.
Yeah, so I am back.
We did a whole video of you just introducing yourself.
That was a lot. Yeah, in case you forgot.
Yeah.
We had so much
one
fun
can
though.
forget.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that in case you missed it, might have been that whole inanimate, intimate object mix-up.
She throws Vanessa under the bus again.
Bringing it up
That's
again.
because she threw me under the bus first.
Okay, first of
You two
all,
are gonna need to fight.
Those of you that watch it anyway know that I mess up all the time, but I own it and I love it.
I love it too.
It's fine because
You're
I'm a
a
human
human
being.
being. Yeah.
I am a human being and I mess
And
up.
you're a funny one, so.
But so today I was reading off the screen and I couldn't see because it was really small and it was at an angle. So I was reading the answer to the juicy question and I said intimate, but it was what was it?
Inanimate.
Inanimate. So I was like,
Intimate,
oh,
inanimate.
and so it totally messed the things up and we had a great time with it. And then. and then I threw Kristen under the
Vanessa
bus
decided
because she
to
was
tell
talking about
everyone-
monkeys and relations and what they do and humans do it.
The thing is,
You want to come over to this side of the couch?
this is typically stuff that we talk about during commercial breaks.
Yeah.
Like, we want to be honest. When you are on this odd of a schedule, your conversations follow suit. Like we have the weirdest conversations.
Yeah, it's
but it
totally
keeps
true.
everyone awake and it keeps energy going. But this time we brought it on air rather than during commercial
Well,
breaks.
and Vanessa and I have known each other for what, like 12 years?
Oh my
now?
gosh, yeah, forever.
There's a comfort level. Yeah.
It was okay.
You guys can talk about monkeys, humans, and inanimate objects. Inanimate objects.
What are
I
we
just slurred it
supposed
so
to
I
be
didn't say
talking
intimate.
about?
Inanimate objects.
It's an easy mix-up if you're reading from an angle.
I
It
know.
was the highlight of my day.
Yeah. All right, let's get to our talking topic. We have 150 people watching live right now. That's pretty
Oh.
dope. They're coming for you. They're staying for these two, but
coming
they're
for me.
coming for you.
That's true, they are staying for those.
All right, so here's the deal. If you missed any of the World Cup action over the last couple weeks, the U.S. women's national team is dope. That's an industry term. They're awesome,
Without
right?
a doubt.
Great cast of characters, tremendous soccer players, the face of our country athletically right now. I'd be hard-pressed to find a better example. They
Serena
cruised to a
Williams.
World Cup win, their second straight, fourth gold star overall. They beat the Netherlands 2-0 yesterday to seal the deal. Now, an undercurrent of this entire tournament has been how little the women's national team makes in comparison to the men's national team.
Yeah.
We ran some figures this morning on Today in AZ. We fancy ourselves as a facts-based brand, so we had a whole bunch of facts for you. The long and short of it, without getting too wordy with numbers, is that according to a lawsuit that was filed by the women's national team back in 2017, they are on average making 38% of what the men make. So we're not talking nickels and dimes here. The men make a lot more than the women.
Now wait a second. Does that include sponsorships that
No.
the men get over the
So
women,
the
or is that
sponsorships
just?
are individual. We're
Okay.
talking prize pool money from the World Cup and their base salaries during the
All
regular
right.
season. Most of the women play in the same league. The men are more spread out because of the European leagues pay a lot better than the MLS does, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But the women mostly play within the United States, and they're like. Their starter salaries in that league are like obscenely low. Like I'm talking like I think one of them is like $16,000 a year. Like
How
we're talking
do-
like you can't make ends meet.
Really?
That's what I do not
Now,
understand.
now, plenty of women make plenty of money playing soccer. Don't get it twisted. Like Alex Morgan, for example, who some would argue is the face of women's soccer in this country, is making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. But most of that is through endorsements and through sponsorships. And the athletes have to rely on that to supplement their income because the base salary they're making, whether it's for their normal leagues or during the World Cup, it's performance based. Like you get X dollars for a win, you get X dollars for a championship. It's not a lot of money. And so the question we're asking you this morning is, do you think the women's team deserves to be paid as much as the men's team? Strictly performance-based, the women's team should be making a lot more than the men's team. They've
Amen.
never won a World
Totally.
Cup, and they didn't even make the World Cup field this past year.
So when people look at this and you just see the headline, which is should the women make as much as men?
It's an
you
obvious
say
yes.
yes.
Yes,
You
right.
say of course.
Yeah.
But when you,
2019.
and I would be right there with you, absolutely saying yes. But when you break it down to exactly what goes into these salaries, the reasons behind it, it starts to turn that dial just a little bit
It
towards.
ultimately
okay, I
comes
kinda
down
get
to
it.
us as the viewers to be the ones
Totally.
who impact what
Yeah.
the women are making. So if you want the women to make more,
Then
you
watch
need to show
them.
your support. You
Yes.
need to make an effort to buy the merchandise and pay to go see the games. I mean,
Right.
that's not exactly, an easy thing to do.
But you know what? That is interesting though, because all the people who are making all of this noise online,
Have you ever bought a ticket or a jersey?
Totally.
yeah.
Facebook's blowing up. Twitter's blowing up. Everyone last night, that entire stadium was screaming equal pay.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is how it changes. They
This is
go
how it
out and they
changes.
absolutely kill it. They make
Yeah.
our country look amazing. They get excitement about it. I mean, because the thing is, if you weren't paying attention to them before, you are now. And this is how it changes. And this team, they're not going to make as much as the men. They're just not. That's not going to happen for any of the women on this team, I don't think. But in 10 years
Down the
from
road.
now,
Yep.
when we have a team of, exceptional women out there playing soccer and making our country look amazing, they are going to be the ones who benefit from the women who are currently paving the way right now.
So there are two different schools of thought here. One of them is that the women don't deserve to make as much as the men on face value. And to that, I think that if that's your opinion, show
That's
yourself
Donald's
the door.
opinion.
Show yourself the door. That you're wrong. It's 2019. To think that women should make less money than men is ridiculous.
Thank you.
Now, the other school of thought as to why the women are making less is the point that you're making. It's that they're not driving up enough revenue. That the prize pools in these tournaments are you could just look at the prize pools in general for the women's and men's tournament and see that discrepancy. The winner of the women's tournament, in this case the United States, got $4 million to divvy up between them. The prize pool for the entire women's tournament was $30 million.
Okay.
The men's tournament last year, the entire prize pool was over $400 million, and the winners got $38 million just for themselves. So there's the discrepancy between the value of the two respective sports. But here's the advantage that the women's national team has in comparison to, and we're seeing this in the examples here in the comment section, the Phoenix Mercury, for example. Jennifer says, the Mercury's won more championships than any other team in Arizona.
Great
but
point.
nobody goes out and supports them. We know that the women in the WNBA are struggling to make ends meet. I did an extra point about this not that long ago about women in professional sports in this country. Now, it's to Kristen and Emma's point, though. If you want the Phoenix Mercury to have the stadium full, and you want them to be making more salary, and you want them to be with their jerseys front and center, you need to go and support them.
You need to go.
You have to. Now,
Buy
the
the
women's
gear,
national
buy
team is
the
representing the
tickets.
whole country, though. So that's a bigger pie, and I think it can happen. Like you said, like this is the first step toward that. And there is equity in social media. And everyone on social media has been talking about this the last few days. This lawsuit was filed back in 2017, but it's making headlines on July 8th, July 9th, 2019. So,
Yes.
the conversation is making change.
Yeah.
The conversation is making change, trying to play, the other side here. This is their fourth time winning, and we haven't seen much of a change. We haven't seen the needle
The
move
prize
that
pool was
much.
doubled this year. So
It
the
was
prize pool for the
doubled.
women's tournament was doubled from the last Women's World Cup. And the talks are already that they're going to double it again in 2023.
People who are really upset about the men making so much more. I mean, when you look at the prize pool, are you kidding
Right.
me? When you go to other countries, I mean, when we talk about the highest paid athlete, Cristiano Ronaldo is always at the top. What is
Yeah.
he? A soccer player. I mean, the men rule in soccer in every other country. I mean, South America alone, you cannot go anywhere without someone wearing a jersey, wherever you are. It's ridiculous. But so it's a little, I think that in the United States, we're not really up on how big soccer is across the world.
It's getting that way, though. It's starting to become
It's
that way.
starting.
Absolutely. And Phoenix is one of the top markets for
Phoenix
viewership.
Rising, for
Phoenix
goodness
Rising,
sakes.
yeah.
Yeah, we've got a great team there.
I mean, just look at the crowds that came out last week to support the tournament here over at State Farm Stadium. The place was
Exactly.
packed. They did 60,000
Yeah.
some people won.
And I mean, Phoenix Rising, it's a constant sellout.
Yeah.
And those games are super, super fun, and the energy there is phenomenal. So it's definitely changing.
The name of the player from Mesa, Arizona.
Julie Ertz or Jessica
Yes,
McDonald?
Yeah.
Julie Ertz. Yes, she's from a hometown girl, played at Dobson High School.
We've had a lot of viewers with the same line of thought here, and I'm curious to think what you guys think about this. Darren wants to go the other way with it. He says, no, just pay the men what you're paying the women, and then see what happens.
Yeah. Yikes.
Can we apply that to everything?
By the way, Emma, Eric says, my daughter Madison, who was once the weather kid and has autism, was so excited to see you back. She wanted to send you this message. So if you want to say hi to Eric Francis on Facebook and his daughter.
Oh, I know Eric.
Eric and Madison.
Oh, Eric and Madison. Eric, you are always such a great fan. I love hearing from you.
It's great to see you back. isn't it?
Yes. And Madison, hi.
If you guys have any strong opinions about the Women's World Cup or to say hi to Emma, jump in the comment section. If this is your first time on the show, we generally go through the comments, which is why we're all staring at our phones.
Yes.
You guys see anything good there to get to?
There's a lot. It's so much.
You know, Ron wants the women and the men to play. We saw that comment earlier on the show on Today in AZ too.
I would love that. I think that would draw ratings.
You know, it is. It's tricky because there's so many things that really have to change in order for us to see a big, for them to get more money. But something that you can do right now is what Kristen was saying: buy a jersey.
Well, and
Buy a
follow
ticket.
every single player on their Instagram and Twitter account, because that's how they're personally
That
going
bumps
to make
them up.
money. Is they're going to be able to get those endorsements for the paid ads.
So that's kind of what Donald's saying.
Yeah.
He's like, no, because they don't draw nearly as many viewers, which is where the leagues make their money.
So here's the problem with that, though. The men's team didn't make the World Cup. They didn't draw any viewers. They
No.
drew exactly this many viewers. And the women's team did bonkers on
Yeah.
Fox yesterday and won the tournament for the second straight year. So that argument is sort of invalid on its face, as is Kevin's. This makes sense initially, and then you just need to think about it for a second. He says, economics 101, if they pull the same revenue, then yes. If they do not, then no. The percentage of revenue to compensation should be equivalent, period. That sounds fun, but that's not how the world works, Kevin. Like, if you were in waste management, for example, and you're delivering or
Picking up?
up trash, should you make a direct correlation to the revenue you're bringing in? Should a doctor make a direct correlation to the revenue the hospital makes?
In a perfect
So
world.
it's like
a news-
eliminating value.
That doesn't
And
work.
It
Like,
diminishes
that-
value and quality
Yeah, that's
because
not
it's saying
like,
everyone's the same.
Your personal performance on the field or in a newsroom or in your office should not be directly correlated to the success of your company. Because there are plenty of people that bust their butts for their jobs that aren't making enough money and will never be able to make enough money if that's your business model. That doesn't make sense to me.
No,
You're not
I agree.
valuing the skill sets. These are elite, world-class athletes, not the best in the country, the best in the world at what they do. And to say that they should make a small fraction of what their male counterparts are making, who can't even meet that same standard of merit, is just ridiculous to me.
We had one viewer write in that we should just settle this by having the women play the men.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens. Wouldn't that be so fun to watch, though?
Patty says no, of course not, but without any explanation. Why? Why shouldn't they make the same? I just don't understand it.
Tell me a little bit
Jim,
about...
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Jim says men. Wait, actually, it wasn't even Jim. Somebody else said that the sports athletes get paid way too much in general.
Well, okay, that's a different argument. That's
yeah.
not the argument we're having. You want to talk
And-
about athletes making
yeah,
up too much money?
don't get him down that
But if you
rabbit
want to
hole.
talk about the economics 101 discussion that Kevin was trying to have, those are the revenue makers. What are the Phoenix Suns without the faces of the guys outside of their building? You know what I mean? The Suns are kind of a bad example because they're a losing franchise. But like the Golden State Warriors, for example, like if without Steph and without Curry and last year Kevin Durant and those guys, without those faces of the organization, what are the teams? How are they bringing in money? You see it in markets where the professional athletes and their teams are underperforming. They don't make the money. There's empty butts in the seats at Gila River Arena a few years ago, and the Coyotes are scuffling. You know what I mean? Like those athletes deserve that money because they're the ones driving in hundreds of millions, if not
Agreed.
billions of dollars of revenue.
Well, and they're the ones putting their bodies on the line as
too,
well.
yeah.
I mean, it's not an easy job. I think that a lot of people have this idea that it's so glamorous and it's so easy. I'm sorry, but I would not want to be physically exerting myself every day like that. There's no way. It does not seem like a fun job to me. Craig, I want to read this whole comment, but I'm not able to open the whole thing. But he makes a good point. He says that their jersey was the highest selling soccer jersey by Nike. Obviously, they can generate money, so of course they should be paid. And that was an interesting thing that I saw over the weekend was how that was like the fastest selling jersey. It broke some record for Nike, and that just proves that there is going to be a rapid increase. And Emma, you said it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. Maybe this is the time it changes. You know,
Finally.
and it is frustrating because it's been so many significant wins in a row, and it hasn't changed. But maybe, I love social media. We know that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think a lot of it has to do with the hype that's being built on social media and the excitement that is being able to be shared and the fact that people want to go buy that jersey and share it on social media.
There is equity in social media, like I said.
And they're able to follow these players. I mean, I found out yesterday that Rose Lavelle has an account for her dog on Twitter. You know who else has an account for their dog on social media? Me. You want to know who my favorite player is? Rose Lavelle. She also scored a goal yesterday.
Yeah, people are dying over her after the game yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that name before going
You know
into
it
the
now.
game yesterday.
Right.
Yeah, and now you'll never forget it. I want though, Paul, because again, when you read the headline, and when you read the headline to what we just posted, it is easy to say, yeah, the women should get as much as the men. But break down the reasons why you're not going to see that. Right now, at least.
Well, because it takes time. I mean, the biggest example, and this is true for the WNBA too, people forget the WNBA hasn't been around that long. Like, they just celebrated an anniversary. It was it was 20 or 30 years. That sounds like a lot, right? But it's not. Look at the other major
Compared
American
to,
sports leagues.
yeah.
Major League Baseball's been around for like 140 years in its current iteration. The NHL has
Yeah,
been
it
awarding the
feels like
Stanley
it,
Cup
too,
every
most
season
games.
since the 1920s. We have, as a culture in the United States, grown up with male athletes as the role
Yes.
models, as the faces of organizations, as the faces of sports in general. So when a 6-year-old girl is playing hockey for the first time back in 1970 or whatever, she's watching the men compete. Like, that's
Right.
all she knows. But there's a generation of female athletes in this country that has grown up with female athlete role models. And when that generation has kids and their daughters come up wearing the Rose Lavelle jerseys, and they come up wearing the Diana Taurasi jerseys, and they watch those women play and compete and realize they can be just like them, we are going to see a shift in women's athletics in this country, but it's a slow and steady process. Look at the history of any professional male sports league and look at the number of teams that went bankrupt and the number of places that had to relocate because they couldn't support it. You guys talk a lot of trash about people not going out and supporting women's athletics and that being the reason they shouldn't be getting paid. Shame on you, because that happens in men's sports just as much. And to make this a gender issue when it isn't is a little disingenuous of you, those of you who are holding that opinion. That's not what this is. It takes time to get money into the system. This time around, FIFA decided to double the pool for the women's tournament. That's great. If they do it again in 2023, that's great too. And that's what some of the women were saying yesterday after the tournament. That okay, start there and double it every 4 years until we're on pace with the men, basically. I would like to see that. I don't think you can make an argument that they don't deserve it.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
These women don't deserve to be
Exactly.
making $16,000 a year to be the best in the world in whatever league they play in. I know that that's not their actual take home, but that's their base salary.
I just think it's so much more entertained watching this than watching, you know, what is it? How many baseball games in a season?
160.
82 home games. Sorry, Vanessa,
81
but you know,
home
it gets a little,
Excuse me?
It gets a little monotonous.
No, but I
it
think-
loses its thrill, and this was absolutely thrilling. And you know what? My favorite part of the Winter Olympics was also a women's team,
Yeah.
the USA women's hockey team. That was the most exciting sporting event until yesterday's.
Yeah.
In my world, in the past year.
I think I just get tired of everyone going crazy on social media, throwing out all of this stuff when really what it's going to take is small movements from us. From us
Exactly.
watching, from us buying, from us supporting, rather than just throwing out your opinion on social media. Yeah, down with men. You know, like it's like, no, wait a second. Like there's things that you can do and move this in a more positive direction rather than dragging the men through the mud, because I just don't think that that's going to help anyone in this situation either.
Who wants to go buy a jersey with me today?
Buy a jersey, buy some of theirs, follow them on social media. That is
the easiest thing you can do is follow them on social media so
Be
that
supportive.
they can show their engagement and their following, and then they can get sponsored ads.
Speaking of engagement, there's a whole lot here. If you guys want to go through the comment section and debate amongst
There's a lot.
yourselves, you're welcome to. We can no longer participate in said debate, except for this video that will live on social media forever and ever. We got to go do a cut-in for the Today Show, 7:26 sharp on
Shoot.
12 News. Go say hi to us.
Time to go
We're going
now.
to do this again tomorrow, 7:30 in the morning. Different topic, the same human beings, right? Are you here?
Yeah, same human being.
Blink twice if you're going to be on the couch for the after show.
Are you doing the cut-in right now?
ya.
Yeah, girl.
Go USA! At the end of the day,
Go USA!
I'm so proud of our
Amen.